Okay, let's continue. So now what I want to do is I want to work on this back here. So what I was thinking, is to grab this bit, right? All of it. And in fact, yeah, okay, let's shift control curve extract outside like this. Let me just go here to the local view. I want to slice it from the top because it's too long, right? We don't need that. Good. It should be a little bit larger though, so maybe that large. And let's go to edit view. So here, and let's actually apply this boolean. So apply the boolean, and I'm going to grab this edge here and E and X and move it in here like this. And I'm going to move this up a bit, so somewhere here, and I'm going to bevel this like this, okay? And let's shift control click on sharpen. The top is too large, so let's do this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a cut here in the middle like this, and let me just apply this boolean here, and then grab these two and drop them down like this, right? Okay, cool, let me see this. Right, and now I need to just simply make this larger, so scale this, right? S and Shift Y, so it scales on all axes except these two, and move it here on Y axis, right? Now, let me see how this looks. It looks pretty cool though. Let me just array this now, so array and Y, and we can have two of them in here, so let's just scale them a bit and move them somewhere here like that, okay? So with this done, we will need to, rearrange the way we're going to, actually, you know what? I could have three of them in here and two on the other side. Let's just make them smaller, narrower, sorry, and fix this array here. So, where's this array? Modifier and array. Move it in here and let three of them, not this, right? And if I do this, what I would need to do also is move this one, right? So, let's just select all this, right? And simply move it to the side. And don't worry about this line in the middle. We can run a cut, press K for knife, and simply delete this rubbish, right? Do you know what I mean? So just nuke it. And then let's go back, and we're gonna have to move the this one, right? So select all of them here, and slightly move it to the middle. Now it's still misaligned. It's kind of in the middle now, but I think it's fine. In fact, this could be shorter. So Alt Z, go to top view, B, and select this one, and just move it here on Y axis. Come on, one more time. These ones, right? G, X, move it in here. Let me see this. Yeah, that's better. So now then we can return this one here. So one more time. We're moving things about, but it's okay, G, X, and move it back in here, because when this is misaligned, it's going to look a little bit better than in the middle, just saying. So this was a better idea, but now we have space for it. So, okay, cool. In addition, we could have some kind of a chamfer here, just saying, right? So there's additional play there. Now, I'm not sure about the bottom, but I think maybe kind of beveled in the bottom is cool. This could be a little bit shorter, so again, Alt Z, B, deselect the top, yeah, deselect the top, and then GZ and move it up a bit. So you get this kind of like a clearance there in the bottom. Maybe that's too low. That will do. And this one's going to be standing on its own, so we will need to make this a bit more narrow, right? So let's just, make this less deep. And this maybe could be a little bit closer here. So G, X, and move it closer here, right? So now both of them should be planted on the ground, right? Both of them should be planted on the ground. This could be in fact made more narrow like this, right? Like that, and GX and move it in here. So it clears out this back area here a little bit, okay? So just saying, boom, right? And we will need to fix the scale here. So apply scale, we're gonna be good to go, okay? Cool, and this one too will need to be moved to the front here like this, right? And it could be aligned perfectly here with this one, you know. Let's fix the shading here. Shift Control click on sharpen. This could be beveled, so bevel this. So we get some separation here, or move it outside, you know, sort of like away from this, so there's a gap. Because when you increase the bevel, you're gonna mess up these. And this one, you know, we could have some cuts on this. Let me just switch it to cutter. So D and switch to cutter from knife. Run a cut here and then mirror across. So Shift S and to geometry and just mirror across. Boom, right? So we got these. That looks pretty decent. And this is gonna have to be fixed. So instead of running them on the bottom, I'm gonna run them to the side, you know. I think it's gonna look pretty cool. I think it'll look pretty cool. And this one could be lower, you know, on the bottom. So it's not gonna be so high. Same with this one, you know. This could be lower, right? Somewhere here. Or maybe even lower like this. It's fine, right? And then we could have some stands for it. And the stands could be very simple. So let's grab a plane, move it somewhere here. Go to side view, grab these edges, drop them down, grab this face here, SY, and scale it in. And maybe not so much like this, right? And obviously this is too long. Let's apply scale. Let's run a solidification, right? Like this. And we need to, you know, fix this. So cut the bottom, right? And cut it in here because it's too big, right? So, and then smart apply, okay? And we could actually run a cut here in the front just for fun. Shift S to geometry and mirror this, okay? And then one more time, smart apply. And run it in here, okay? Obviously it's too big, so I need to make it smaller and just put it in the bottom here. Like this, and then Shift Y and move it in here. Go to Edit View, click here, Alt Z, B, select that G, Y, make this smaller, and you got the second stand here. Select them both, drop them down on the stand, select them, and run a bevel because at the moment we don't have any bevel on them. This one is too wide, so just you know, scale it, move it somewhere here. This one should be a little bit wider and move it deeper, okay? And there you go. That looks pretty cool. I like that. It's much better, okay? So let's save it. Now, like I said, we need to move them to the other side. So we're going to Shift D them, okay? Then flip them, so Alt X, and let's hold Alt and go to flip and flip them, right? Then go to the other side, and we need to nuke one. So ever scroll and not ever scroll. Go to modifiers, array, and nuke one, and move it to this side. So GY and move it in here. So you see the entrance here. I mean the ladder is not obstructed. I think it looks pretty cool. And they need to be closer. So GX and move them closer. So they kind of, you know, close, and there we go. That looks pretty cool. That looks pretty cool, right? And now, yeah, the cables, right? So I want to run something more interesting in here, you know. So I could run like a pocket in here. So D and cut, turn off this line again. Run a pocket in here like this, inside B, right? And just click. And then we could have connectors. So let me see this bevel here. Press 1 for, but there we go. Bevel was messed up. And grab the Q and what you call them, assets, and maybe let's grab these. And where is it? Holy shit, that's a little bit big. Hold Control, go here, and turn off the name. which is, where is it? Here, this one. And you call them outs because, you know, we don't need them. Right, and let me see this. That's perfect. We don't need all of it. We just need part of it. So D, and, you know, we're going to slash this, right? Like this. Boom. And Control Sharpen. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bevel it, right? And we're going to scale it and Shift S and to Geo. And then we're going to move it, right, inside here like this, okay? Scale it in. GX, move it in. And we're going to array this down, okay? So let's say 4 of them, okay? Like this. GZ, boom, right? I think it looks pretty cool. And then we're going to run cable, so we could create a cut here on the side as well. What is with this fucking line, man? Jesus, so annoying. Cut like this here, and grab these and Shift D and hold Control and move them in here, right? So move them down, and let me just grab this up, scroll SX. There we go. And for the, you know, shits and giggles, we could just bevel this, but we need to apply scale for this cutter. So hang on, what is wrong with this bevel? Let me just look at this. Yeah, that's a weird bevel. Let me just go back, then apply scale, and then do this again. That's better. Okay, that's better. And we could, you know, we could connect them. So Shift Alt C and run a cable here, right? And then S. Okay, and then Q, just apply this, and then Geo to Mesh, so Visual to Mesh and Array, and X, and array it down, so here, boom, right, and we sort it, and that looks pretty cool, awesome. All right, that's better. Now here on the top, you could have Shift D this, right, scale this, and go to edit, and, you know, as Shift Z, and make this larger, pop it down like this, and see, this could be a play here, right? Grab this one as Shift Z and scale this, and we could just pop them here like that and make 2 of them, right? So boom, and let me see this. Yeah, this could be a little bit larger, so as Shift Z, there you go, and I think we're good. And they could be mounted somewhere here. And you could connect them to this, you know, to this, or you could Shift D them, right? So Shift D and go to modifiers and nuke all the modifiers. Make them larger, right? So scale them a bit, and then simply difference, right? So let's go to Q and array X and just move it in here. Hold Shift and more or less just align it, right? And you're gonna get this bits and pieces popping. Then we can just Control click with Sharp and then just, you know, run a bevel here or chamfer. Let me just go here too. There we go. Select this one, and deselect these, and then we can just chamfer this, right? You see this? There we go. And here on the top, we could grab the same one. So grab this, Shift D, hold Control and align this, and then nuke the array because we don't need it. Oh, this one is array. Boom, there you go. And obviously this is too big, so let's just scale this and move it somewhere here. And then simply, you know, modify and, mesh and radial array, X, and boom, and then, you know, apply this. So, and modifiers, operations multiply. So now with this one, let's just drop it down, right? We could just array this, you know, as well. So go here and array X. Just hold Shift and more or less, you don't have to be precise, you know, it's okay. Right? And then this one can go to cutters. Same with these, right? Cutters, Shift 2, boom. Now let's save it, yeah? So we're getting somewhere, This starts looking good. We need some mounting for these as well on the side here. Also, this one is parented to something. Alt P and clear transformation, or is it this one? I don't know. Some of these are parented somehow. Let's just nuke this. There we go. Here in the back, we could have like a massive sort of a... In fact, you know what? This could be elevated. So this could be like a walkway here. And we could have some cables running around, you know? Maybe from this terminal, cables running around to these. And the cables could be, you know, going somewhere in here. So, you know, there could be an opening here. What is with this line? But like, seriously, I need to hang on. Let me just apply preferences here. Apply preferences, because this is so irritating. Let me just run a cut here like this, you know, with a bevel, whatever. And what we could do, right, is have some cables running in there. Or have some kind of an opening here in the bottom like this. And have cables running underneath, you know, like that, right? I also need to rethink this one. This is kind of cool. I mean, what I could do here is run some cuts. This could also be done with decals, right? You don't have to, you know, overdo your... You don't have to go too crazy. Also 30... Where is it? Let me just draw it again. Draw the cutter and then drop it down from 30 to like, I don't know, 16 maybe. You don't need too many verts on the cutter, you know. You can see in the top here, right? And drop it somewhere here, and then just, you know, run it through, right? And shift click, and then shift D this, and then array it down, and then difference, and then I think we're good. Yeah, see, that's pretty cool, right? So we could leave that. And we could have some handles here, you know, as well. Or like handle maybe here. I think it's gonna look cool. So let's grab this, right? And then let's, you know, let's shift D this. And then P and selection. And let me see this. Is it mirrored? Yeah, it's mirrored. So let's remove the mirror. Let me see it now. Let's remove actually everything, right? All of it. And then let's run an edge like this and an edge like this, right? And obviously they're gonna have to be a little bit shorter, but you know, let's just control B this, make it, whoa, shift S to geometry, make it smaller, bring it back here, and then mesh tools and curve extract, and then S, right? And you got this kind of a railing here on the side, right? So this could be cool when someone is, you know, doing something here and needs to sort of hold on to it, right? So somewhere here like this, boom, right? And just nuke this rubbish. And then we can mirror this across the truck to the other side. Whoa, it's a flip mirror. One more time. Alt X, X to reset it, and mirror, boom. Another thing what I want to do is I want to grab these handles, right? In fact, all of it. So grab this, Shift D, right? Move it somewhere here, GX, and then rotate it on Z. Oh, this will not rotate together. Okay, so let's move a cursor to selected and rotate them on the cursor, right? So now RZ 180, there we go. And then again, whoa, back to individual origins, and then GX, and move the cursor back to origin, because otherwise it's gonna get messed up. Scale this is still parented, remember, yeah, so. And GX and move it in here. Come on, where's my parent? One more time. S, scale this, there we go. And let me see this. Yeah, that's fine. So GX, boom, right? And I want some handles here on the bottom. So either here, I think here's gonna be fine. So let's remove this outside. There we go. And we're gonna have to rotate them, yeah. So, you know, do you know what I mean? So like this, right? One here, and then select everything, and then we could actually Alt D this, because when you Alt D it, it's going to when you texture one, the other one's gonna get textured the same way. So select them and mirror. Okay, so that's cool. So this is, you know, if someone's want to hold and just climb something, I think it makes sense. And another thing we could do is add kind of like a step in here, you know. So let's say make a cut here for a foot, you know? Do you know what I mean? Here. And another one on the, hang on, let me just ever scroll this, and Q array and X and move it in here and see how this is gonna look. I think it's gonna look pretty cool, right? I think it's gonna look pretty cool. We could kind of soften it up a little bit, so, you know, run some sort of a bevel here like this, right? I think it'll be looking better. There you go. That looks pretty cool. I like that. And then we can mirror this to the other side, okay? So you see, like, all these details coming together now slowly. I'm not crazy about this here, you know. I wonder if this shouldn't be moved backwards like this. You know, I think it's gonna be better. I really do. And then what we could do is, you know, mirror this obviously across, right? Which didn't work, so let's add another mirror. There we go. This should work, hopefully. And we could just run a cut here as well, you know, on this one, right? Let's grab this and cut this here, like this. And I want to cut the other one as well, so Shift 2. And let's Shift D this and difference this one, right? And then we're gonna convert this one to, come on, convert this one to solid shape and sharpen this and, you know, create something here. So let's just move it inside, G, and sharpen this. Let me see this. Wow. And move it to truck main, Shift 2. How are we looking? I kind of like this. I kind of like this. I kind of like this. So let's Alt X A and mirror this one. And then we're going to mirror this one. We can put some stuff in here later on. Then what I also want is I want to create some kind of a flooring here. So I was thinking to create kind of like sort of, you know, like tiles like this, right? I can't go too deep. Let me just go with T solidification. There we go, that's better. And click this. Okay, and let me just see this underneath. Yeah, this one is too tall, this one, right? So where is it? This main shape here should be slightly cut. So let's go here and maybe run this across. But if I do that, hang on, I'm gonna lose this. So I would need to create another cut here. Okay, that's fine. So let's cut this here like this. Let me see this. Yeah, so now I can run the floor here, you see. And then I want, I kind of like a, whoa, let me just align myself here. I want to cut this one here like this, right? So B, and then go down and T, solidification. How are we looking? Yeah, we're looking pretty good. We're looking pretty good. We're looking pretty good. Okay, okay. Now, would be really cool if this part here was actually sliced, and this was, you know, I want like a groove in here. So groove on this side, right, and groove on this side. So let's go to Q and never scroll, and then Shift D, Z, and cut the groove in here. Let me see this. I think this is gonna add a lot to this design. That's what I think. Yeah, see. And what we could do is lower this bevel a little bit, you know, so it's not so crazy. That, right? Same here, you know. And we could add weighted normals here and here, because I don't think we had one. Yeah, we're starting to get somewhere. We're starting to get... Also, the lights in the front, before I forget, What I was thinking is to, they arrayed, right? So, yeah, nuke this rubbish. Shift D and X, and what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna make one of these larger. So Alt Z, B, select this one, GY, sorry, GX, and move it in here. That's what I want. There we go. That's better, much better. Okay. Okie dokie. And then, yeah, we discussed the cables here, right? So the cables could be coming from there. So what we could do is draw them. So let's select the flooring itself and then go to Shift Alt C, and you can draw a cable like this. Okay. And, you know, this one is a little bit messed up, but one more time. Right. And we could just, you know, scale this. So go to adjust curve and boom, right? And then again. Okay. And then scale it too. So adjust curve, right? And make it really tiny, right? And just extend it. So, you know, do something like this, right? And then move it to maybe somewhere here. And then we could run them, right, on the floor here. So, oh shit, they disappeared. Let me just find them. Cable, 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 right? 3 of them. Nope. These, okay. G, Shift Z, boom. And we can run them, see here underneath from this computer thing, right, like that. Boom. See what I mean? We could only have one of these here on the bottom, so this is a rate. Hang on. It is a rate. I think. Oh, this is mirrored, so we could demirror this. Just nuke the mirror. And, you know, use one of them and maybe make it bigger or something. You know what I mean? Something like that. And this cable could be slightly rotated like that. There we go. Right. Boom. See what I mean? I'm not gonna lie, this could be a slightly better shape. So let me see this. Grab this one and insert it. Or in fact, don't insert it. Q and Control click on curve extract. Let me just work on this shape a bit. Because I want to insert it, but not from the bottom. So hang on. So wait a minute. Before we do anything, I need to nuke the other mirror, which is this one. This one is actually mirroring the shape, so keep it. So apply this mirror, but we need to leave the boolean, this one, right? So apply that, but we can nuke the rest. Okay, perfect. So now Shift S and to Geo. Now let's scale this and let's actually move this up and clean it. And I wonder if this shouldn't be lower here. Because what I want to do is I want to solidify it, right? And I want to cut it like this. But not too deep, you see. Not too deep, so somewhere like this maybe. But I wonder if this shouldn't be going all the way down, you know? So, all the way down. Maybe that's the play. That's actually kind of cool, not gonna lie. And you know what we could have here? We could have some kind of a maintenance access. And hang on, let me just bro, this lines drive me crazy. Let's just run a cut here like this. Oh, chamfered. Let's just go with a slash. Let me see this. And let's run some, you know, like a vent here. This could all be done with decals, by the way, but just saying. V and maybe that many. Right, and just run them through. It's fine. So we're gonna have something like this here. I think it looks pretty cool. Let's ever scroll this. Go to edit mode, RX, and rotate it down and move it a little bit forward. So they're gonna be actually slanted down, so it will look a bit better, okay? And also, let's just go to local view. Before we apply this, I want to make sure that it's in the middle, and also run knife here, but I just want a knife here like this. Okay, this should work. So now we can actually run as multiply here. There you go. And it's gonna apply the bevel again. Motherfucker. This thing, man, it's like for real. Here. And then let's just run as multiply. And then bevel, okay. Sheesh. It's like a full-time job, man, with this bevel. And this should be moving. Shift S and 2GO. And let's just unparent this. I don't know where it's parented. And GY and move it in. See if it's gonna look better. I think it doesn't really matter. Now, this cable here is a little bit too large, so let's just, you know, scale it down. Oh, wait a minute. They're not on the floor. That's the problem. We need to put them, come on, we need to put them on the floor. So, GZ and on the floor, and this one, and this one. This one and this one needs to be on the floor. So, right. And that's better. And we could have some wedges here, you know, like a wedge cut here and there. So cutter and W and wedge cut. And we could mirror this now to the other side, or we can't. Oh yeah, because we have this mirror active. Let's just nuke this mirror first. Mirror across. And then mirror across the shape. So Alt X A to another mirror to the other side. Boom. And I think that's pretty cool, right? I think that's pretty cool. You know, some bevel over there, maybe even on the top as well. This could be a bit too much, but let's see. Maybe not. I kind of like this. Cool. Awesome. And here in the back we could have some vents, you know, like deep vents. So could have something like this, and maybe narrower, like this, B, and run the bevel, and create a deep vent, Shift T and taper this. And then let's just recover this, so I will scroll, and let's mirror this across, right? And then Q and settings and shift click on shade, not shade wire, shade solid. So select this and shade solid. And we're going to move them out. So GY, move them outside like this. And let's apply them. So smart apply, and we need to apply this bevel, right? And then select them and run. Actually, chamfer could be interesting. Yeah, this could be actually pretty badass, to be honest. Let's run a bevel on them, but not too big. What is going on with this one here? Hang on, let me just go to local. Jesus. Let's cut this. So, right, and sharpen. Nuke this rubbish. L. Just remove this and, I don't know, unparent this. And I think we're gonna be good. And just mirror here. So mirror, and then select this. And Alt X A and mirror across. Why it didn't work? Alt A, boom. One more time. Mirror across here first, across this shape. So regular mirror, so A, mirror. Then select this one, Shift, select this one. Alt X A to add another modifier and mirror. There we go. Now it's working. Cool. Awesome. This one too could have some, you know, wedge cuts here, not like this. W, there we go, here. Wedge cuts, maybe not going. Actually, this is pretty cool, not gonna lie. I like this. That's pretty cool. And maybe, you know, some cut here, so W and a cut here in the middle. I think it's pretty awesome. Okay, and in fact, yeah, that's cool. And here we could have some, you know, some elements. So let's grab this again. And Shift D, right? And let's just put them in here. You can reuse elements, you know. Don't be afraid of reusing stuff, yeah. It's fine. And increase the array slightly so they're more spaced, right? And we're gonna mirror this here, and then select this one. Shift selected, Alt Alt X, sorry, A to add new modifier and mirror across. And that looks cool. Man, this multiply, bro, is like really annoying. Sharpen, okay, come on. There we go. And then select these. Select these and chamfer them. And then be careful here. You need to enable this, I mean, turn off the loop slide, okay? So that looks pretty cool. That looks pretty cool. Like I said, these can be textured with stream sheets, you know, so we could narrow them a little bit on the y-axis, so it's just kind of a bit more structure to them, but I wouldn't worry too much. Now we could have some kind of, you know, some kind of fastening on them or whatnot, but we can think about it later maybe. Here too, I would probably, what I would do is I would run like a longer floor all the way here. So let's grab, well, let's grab this one. Do I even have this boolean? Where is it? Hang on. This is mirrored, right? So this one. This one. And we're going to... Oh, it's mirrored. Bollocks. Alright. Shift D, and I'm just going to align it manually here. You know, eyeball it. And grab this cutter here. GX, move it in here. Align this. And hang on. Oh yes, need to grab all of them. GX, there we go, and then apply scale to fix the bevel and move it in here. Right. And now, is it okay? Yeah, it could be a little bit longer, so, you know, select these and GY, move it all the way here, right? And then cut it, so difference. It's mirrored, it's not gonna work. So we need to apply the floor. So operations multiply, and just don't tell me bevel got applied because I'll fucking look at this. What a piece of shit, man. I'm gonna have a fucking chat with Jerry because this actually pissed me off. Really pissed me off, this. That's actually very fucking annoying. Difference. And now why doesn't work? Oh, because I have to apply this, hang on. The mirror, so apply the mirror, multiply, right? Am I good now? Yes, and then difference. Are we good now? And then bevel. Jesus. It's like North Korea, man, what the fuck? Right? We could run some wedge cuts here just for fun. Or maybe here. You know? Is this mirrored? No. Weighted normals. What's wrong with the shading here? Maybe it's my head. I think my head is overheating. After all these, you know, multiply disasters. I think we're good. I think we're good. Alright, I think this is enough for this one. And in next time, I guess we're going to be wrapping things up, you know, because also, where are my fucking bolts? Shift DY and move it in here. Let's go back and see if it's working. Yeah, I think it's fine. Okay. What I was saying, yes, we're gonna probably continue in the next one. There's not much really to do anymore, but I would still want to do something with the door. Also, we probably need to figure out. I'm wondering if it's necessary, but I would think it about actually creating like some kind of a ladder in the back, maybe. But maybe, you know, maybe I'm overthinking. We need to also mount these and then kind of wrap things up and see if, you know, we need some stuff like maybe small hooks and shit. You know, this could be interesting. Also, I wonder if I don't want to do something here in the corner. Could be interesting. Also, I want to change the way the screen is mounted, but it's really not that important. And yeah, we should probably have some terminal here as well, you know. something here, right? So they can type on. So, you know, we need something in here, boom, right? And then let me just apply this. So operations multiply. Don't tell me the bevel got applied. Of course it did. Fuck. OM fucking G, bro. OM fucking G. I might actually send this video to Jerry and said, look, bro, fix your shit. Like, for real, dude. Because that's diabolical. Ay, 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 ay. You know what I mean? And by the way, keyboard could be, you know, I could just simply run a decal on this. I have a really cool decal for a keyboard. So cut it through, B, okay, run it through, and press T, and click. What in the fuck? Solidify, there we go. Weird. Cool, and there you go, right? And there you go. And we could have some kind of, I don't know, speakers here, whatnot. But again, this could be all done with decals, okay? So don't, you know, don't overthink things when you don't have to. I agree. I mean, I admitted that I do overthink a lot of stuff here, but you know, let me just array this. All these tiny cuts, they're going to create planar shifts and AO, and it's gonna create more interest here and there, you know what I mean? So that's actually pretty cool. This corner here, I think it's fine. We could have something in here too, you know, maybe some kind of like a maintenance hatch. Select this one, and what's going on here now? Nearest edge, local. There we go. I just run it in here, closer. There we go, B. And just run it in. And click. And it's mirrored, right? If it's not, let's mirror. Cool. And it's going to create more interest over there, you know. And these could be planted a little bit better here, you know, on the ground, I'm just saying, because they're kind of floating here. This actually was kind of a good idea. And grab these two. And, you know, chamfer them. And then I want to run the bevel on this because we now have a PSDT from running bevels. I don't want bevel on anything because anything I have a bevel on gets, you know, it gets applied. I'm getting this problem, right, with the smart apply. So now I'm in a panic mode. I'm in a panic mode. Cool. Just one tiny thing. We mirrored this cut to the other side, but we can't use a mirror here because of these. So nuke the mirror. And what you want to do is you want to ever scroll the cutter, shift click, Alt X, and just press A and, you know, just modify. And you want to mirror the cutter, not the shape. That's really important, yeah? Because it's, you know, this floor, this cabin, and this now are asymmetrical, so be very careful mirroring. I just messed up doing it, so just saying. Do not apply this mirror because then maybe it's fixable, but it's annoying, yeah. So, you know, there you go.